And there are a lot of people who not only have angry words, but they have angry ears. Everything that they hear, they are filtering through the anger of their lives, and it affects the way they think about people and the way they respond to people. And so you're using anger as a filter for all of your relationships. And of course, that distorts your ability to know what's really going on in a relationship from your perspective and from the perspective of the other person. The second reason why anger is so bad is because anger actually causes you to listen for ammunition, not to listen for understanding. And there are many of us that do this. We were in a conversation with someone and we're not really listening to try to understand them. We're listening to sort of pick up on something we can use against them later. I want to find a piece of ammunition that I can bring back and use in my fight against them or to prove my point in some way. And so I'm not really trying to understand. What I'm trying to do is get what I want out of this so I can fight back in some way. And this is what anger will do to you. That's why it is so bad. The third reason that anger is such a terrible thing in our lives is because when you're angry, you're blinded to your own sins, your own issues, your own immaturities, and your own failures. That's exactly what anger does to you. We've often heard it said, blinded by rage or blinded by anger. And it's so very true that when you're angry, you actually can't see what you need to see about you, about your own issues, about yourself. And the reason is because you're always focused on the other person. And that brings me to the next point. Anger causes you to be tempted constantly to blame and shame the other person. It's your fault, not my fault. And I'm going to blame you for the trouble in my life because I'm angry at you. And so all of it's coming your direction. And you should feel ashamed of yourself for causing my life to be so miserable. And so anger creates this kind of response in each one of us. In fact, angry people are finger pointers. They love to point out the failures of other people. And then the next reason why anger is so bad is because when you're angry, you react with emotions rather than responding with helpful interactions. What anger does to you is it ramps up your emotions. It escalates everything inside of you. Now, all of us have a gamut of emotions. You have all kinds of emotions during any particular day. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you have jealousy, sometimes you have all these different emotions. But I will tell you something about anger. Anger escalates faster than any other emotion you'll ever have. You can go from 0 to 100 in terms of the intensity of your anger in a split second. It's called a temper, okay? And that's what a temper does. Temper flares up, and it flares up in an immediate moment, and suddenly I'm really calm 1 second, I'm raging with anger the next second. Why? Because there's a quick escalation point. It inflames very quickly, and so anger is bad because you begin to react then with that emotion.